Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the twin turbo 99 Dodge Dakota RT. We're going to continue our work with the traction bars, and hopefully we have one side all the way complete. The package that wasn't supposed to come in until Monday, well, it was originally Friday and then it turned into Monday. Well, it's become Sunday afternoon, so it's sitting in front of me. So I'll try to remind myself where I was at and get you guys up to speed, and then we'll get after it. I don't think there's a whole lot to tell. I've got the other lower welded up. I've got the other leaf spring piece, the pivot for the leaf spring. It's all put together for the other side. I ended up cutting these down where they were very wide. I ended up trimming them down, get them welded. They look pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it. I think that's all I did. Just waiting on parts. Got lots of stuff going on. So we got our other cut sand box. We'll get this thing open, kind of remind myself what all I ordered, and see what kind of candy we got today. More Sour Patch Kids. Wrong damn box. That actually wasn't the box. That contained another supercharger plate, mount an M90 and a Jeep 4-liter XJ. Oh, and I don't know where my beanie is, so hair is a mess. But it finally did come in, so let's get this guy open. Hopefully this is it. Should be. I got other stuff on order, but they should be several days out. More candy, of course. Let's see, I think I just covered up the... There we go. I'll get you in a little closer. So, while I was on there, if you remember where I was grabbing the leaf spring up front, I actually had too much of a gap, and by the time I tighten the bolts, it's going to smile and bend the ears. Well, I still want it to have some pinch, so I ordered these. I'll have to measure how thick they are, but it should cut that distance in half. So we'll still have some squish, but not too much. And these were my next idea for this piece. Instead of having just these crossbars, this will sit down and then these will sit over it, and then they will kind of help line it up and keep everything straight, just to make welding it together easier and a little more structure, because I think I can get in there and tack the ends of it inside once I get a MIG welder. And of course these are for our polyurethane bump stops to hit our leaf spring eyes, which are right here. So these will go on there, and that will go on the end of our pivot arms. So let's get it open. I've ordered a couple of random sets of things because they have a minimum order. If you don't make it to $29, they just charge you for it. So I just threw other random numbers in, even though I'll have to order more for more complete sets. But this and 4 of these are all we need from this for our current set we're building. The rest will be for Jeff's, or for if I make another set for anybody else. Alright, let's go mock this back up, make sure it's going to work. I'll have to run the ace and get more spacers to cut up too. Cut them to the proper size instead of this 20 thousandths over. Get rid of this bind. And the next one I do, this bottom piece, I'm going to open it up a bit so I can put a washer or bushing on each side. We'll still let it pivot off the bolt, but so that the bracket's not rubbing on the other bracket, it's got a washer or a like a bronze washer or something in between it. Make it float a little easier, keep from getting bound up. Alright, let me go get the bar and some bolts. Alright, left-hand thread at the rear. Slap this guy back together with this. I think I changed my mind. Instead of using bushings and using 1/2-inch bolts, I'm just going to get 5/8 bolts and cut them down so that everything's still riding on the shank. Because I feel if I use these and actually hit it hard a couple times, I won't be able to get it back out. Like right now. It's tight fit as is. It's only going to get worse. But I've only got one 5/8 bolt handy. We gotta make a trip. Damn, that does not like going through that way. Alright. Let's use the bolt on this end. Looks like it works. Now let me get my pads. We're definitely going to have plenty of room for adjustment. I'll have to back these guys off a bit, I think. But the truck's not sitting on the ground, so it's kind of hard to tell. This should key in. Right there. That puts the hole right at the tip. Let me slide this guy in like that. That should work. And then that hits the spring eye right there. That's loaded up right there. That's pretty much center of spring eye too. So that should work. Just need a couple bolts. I gotta take this back off and get this welded. I also left the tang on there so that it's got, this will kind of set the width for it. That's 3/4 inch. I think I left 10 thousandths over, so when I squish it and tack it with both brackets, it should keep everything from getting too out of place. We'll take it back off and get it welded, and you can see this gap here. Got these guys. They go in right here, so that we can take up that gap and go ahead and tighten it up, and it'll still have some squish. They go from 1/4 inch to 3/16. The spring's right at, not 3/16, 1/4 inch to 5/16, and the spring's right at 5/16. So we wouldn't have any squish if I used 5/16 or 5/16. So we have this that will give us enough squish without letting it bend the hell out of everything. So here we go. Got it all set up to tack. Got the hymen there to hold our width. Got our spacer and our bolts tight. Well, this bolt tight. That one's pretty tight anyway. The I still had to hold my mouth right getting these set at the same angle because there's enough slop that it could get a little off. I know like I'm about to paint I know I look like I'm about to paint a happy tree, but we'll get through it. We'll be alright. We'll make some happy welds. Let's get to it. Well, we'll let that cool off. And I guess I'll run and... No, I have some paint. Just debating what color to paint them. Eventually, I think I'll take them off and have them powder coated. But for now, I've got gray. Do I want to spend money on paint? Damn. Gray or no? We'll go to the parts store. I want something a little brighter than that, but maybe not quite red. And they're painted. I used some cheap bronze, copper, goldish paint. I wanted something that kind of popped with the black, but wasn't red like everybody else's. And I also didn't want it to blend in. So I'm happy with it. I've got my energy suspension polyurethane bump stop in there. Got my bolts in. I will end up doing some more playing around. I've got to figure out what the pinion angle is going to be, but I've also got to, I need to figure out what it needs to be for having this. If we need to preload more into it or however this works, I need to do some studying. But also if I change the transmission, I change driveline angle, we need to keep all those things into consideration before we set the rear pinion angle. So this is as far as I'm going with these. It's bolted on, it will work. My shims did not work. They made it the perfect thickness and it slid. So not awesome. I'll find something else. My next plan for keeping this guy from sliding forward is I want to make another top piece, and since I've got the Berlin eye, this piece will go all the way up here. Instead of welding something on, I'm just going to get it measured up just right, because this is right here in center where it needs to be. I'll measure this, and I will make this piece have a leg that long, and that will keep it from sliding and locate it when putting it together. What else have we got? I hope I left enough adjustment in. I won't know until it's sitting on the ground to see which way it's going to go, but that should get longer, so this will have to, spring's going to get longer, which means this may have to get longer, so I may run out. This should be in to about here, so maybe I'm fine. If not, I'll cut some more tube, I'll get some more heims. It's not a big deal. Just wanted to give you guys an update on this. It is finished-ish. It's going to be a long while before I get mine, or we can actually test it. If I end up building a set for Jeff with his Turbo Ranger, we'll be testing it on his before mine ever gets moving again. So, if you're new, subscribe. Everyone, hit the like button. Help me out as much as possible. There will be links below to contribute if you want to. I appreciate everyone that has. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.